Have you ever found yourself losing control over your anger? If so, you're not alone. Anger is a natural human emotion, something we all experience. However, when it spirals out of control, it can lead to problems at work, in personal relationships, and in the overall quality of life. That's where anger management comes into play. Anger management isn't about bottling up or suppressing your anger. It's about understanding your emotions and learning techniques to express them in a healthy, constructive way. It's about gaining control over the situation and not letting anger control you. Why is anger management important, you might ask? Well, let's look at the potential consequences of unmanaged anger. It can strain relationships, both personal and professional. It can lead to physical health problems like high blood pressure or heart disease, and it can cause mental health issues such as depression and anxiety. But there's good news. Effective anger management can turn these negatives into positives. By managing your anger, you can improve your relationships with others. You can enhance your mental well-being, reducing stress and increasing your overall happiness. And you can even improve your physical health, as lower stress levels often correlate with better physical health. But how do you manage your anger? It's not as simple as flipping a switch. It's a process, and like any process, it takes time and effort. But don't worry, you're not alone in this journey. Many people have walked this path before and have found healthier ways to deal with their anger, and you can too. Understanding your anger is the first step towards managing it. It's about recognizing when you're getting angry and understanding why. It's about acknowledging the impact of your anger on others and on yourself. And it's about learning techniques to manage your anger effectively. Stay tuned as we delve into the 5 steps to better anger management and conflict resolution. These steps aren't a magic bullet, but they're a good starting point. They're practical, straightforward, and most importantly, they're achievable. So let's embark on this journey together towards a better understanding and management of our anger. The first step to managing anger effectively is to acknowledge it. It all starts with self-awareness. Let's dive into this a bit more. You see, anger is a natural human emotion. It's not inherently bad or something to be ashamed of. It's simply a response to a situation or circumstance that we find unjust or threatening. But when not managed properly, it can lead to conflicts, strained relationships, and even health problems. So it's crucial to acknowledge your anger and not suppress it. Now, what does acknowledging anger mean? It means to accept that you're angry. It's not about justifying your anger or blaming others for it. It's about being honest with yourself and saying, yes, I'm angry. And here's the thing. Acknowledging your anger isn't a sign of weakness. Quite the opposite. It's a sign of strength and emotional maturity. It's about taking responsibility for your emotions and not letting them control you. Acknowledging your anger is also the cornerstone of self-awareness. Self-awareness helps you identify your anger triggers and patterns. For instance, you might notice that you tend to get angry when you're stressed or when your expectations are not met. By recognizing these triggers, you can take proactive steps to manage your anger more effectively. But remember, acknowledging your anger is just the first step. It can be uncomfortable, it can be challenging, but it's a necessary part of the process. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. So be patient with yourself, be kind, and most importantly, be honest. Anger can be a powerful force, but it doesn't have to control your life. You have the power to manage your anger and transform it into a positive force for change. And it all starts with acknowledging your anger. So take a moment, reflect on the times you felt angry. Don't judge your feelings or try to push them away. Simply acknowledge them. Say to yourself, I'm angry, and that's okay. I'm human. Once you acknowledge your anger, you're ready to move to the next step, understanding it. Understanding your anger means digging deeper into why certain things trigger your anger. This step is about peeling back the layers of your anger, like taking apart an onion. You see, anger is rarely a standalone emotion. It's often a reaction to other underlying emotions or needs that haven't been met. It's like a flashing red light warning us that something isn't quite right. Imagine, for instance, that you're angry because your partner didn't clean up after dinner, even though they promised they would. On the surface, it might seem like you're just annoyed about the mess. But if you dig a little deeper, you might find that what's really bothering you is a feeling of being taken for granted or disrespected. Identifying these underlying emotions isn't always easy, but it's a crucial step towards understanding your anger. It's like being a detective of your own emotions, searching for the real culprits behind your anger. But understanding your anger isn't just about recognizing the emotions hiding beneath it. It's also about identifying the needs that aren't being met. In the case of the messy dinner scenario, for example, the unmet need might be for respect, consideration, or fairness. Once you've identified these underlying emotions and unmet needs, you can start to address the real issues. Instead of getting angry about the mess, you might have a conversation with your partner about feeling taken for granted. This approach not only helps to resolve the immediate conflict, but also builds a foundation for better communication and understanding in the future. Understanding your anger is like unlocking a door that leads to deeper self-awareness and better conflict resolution. It's about turning a moment of anger into an opportunity for growth and understanding. And remember, anger isn't something to be feared or suppressed. It's a natural human emotion that can serve as a valuable tool for self-discovery. So don't shy away from your anger. Embrace it, understand it, and use it as a stepping stone towards better communication and conflict resolution. After understanding your anger, the next step is to learn how to express it. Expressing your anger doesn't mean lashing out. It's about communicating your feelings in a healthy way. Now you might be thinking, how can I do that? Well, it's simpler than you might think. Let's start by appreciating the importance of constructive expression of anger. Anger, like all emotions, is natural. It's a signal that something isn't right. It's not about suppressing it, but rather about expressing it in a way that promotes understanding and resolution. Imagine anger as steam in a pressure cooker. If you don't release it in a controlled manner, it might explode, causing harm. But if you let it out slowly and steadily, you can cook up something really good. That's what constructive expression of anger is all about. Learning to let out that steam in a way that's beneficial, not destructive. Now, let's look at some tips on how to communicate feelings effectively without hurting others. Firstly, use I statements instead of you statements. For example, saying, I feel upset when this happens instead of, you make me angry. This way, you're taking responsibility for your feelings, and it reduces the chance of the other person feeling blamed or attacked. Secondly, be specific about what made you angry. Vague statements can lead to misunderstandings. If you say, I didn't like what happened earlier, the other person might not know what you're referring to. But if you say, I felt upset when you interrupted me during the meeting, it's clear what the issue is. Thirdly, express your feelings when you're calm. If you're still fuming, take a breather. Go for a walk. Do some deep breathing. Once you're calm, you'll be able to express your feelings more clearly and constructively. And lastly, listen. Effective communication is a two-way street. After expressing your feelings, give the other person a chance to respond. They might have a perspective you haven't considered. Remember, the goal is not to win an argument, but to resolve the conflict. That's where assertive communication comes in. It's about standing up for your rights while respecting the rights of others. It's not about being aggressive or passive, but about being clear, respectful, and firm. Once you've learned to express your anger healthily, the next step is to implement strategies to manage it. Managing anger effectively requires implementing certain strategies. Let's delve into some of these, shall we? First, deep breathing. It's a simple yet powerful tool. When you feel your temper rising, take a moment to close your eyes, inhale deeply, hold your breath for a few seconds, and then exhale. This helps to calm your mind and body. Taking a time out is another effective strategy. If you're in a situation that's escalating, it can be helpful to step away for a few minutes. This break can give you the space to cool down and think things through. Lastly, the use of positive self-talk can be transformative. Instead of saying, I can't handle this, try telling yourself, I can manage my anger. Remember, these strategies require consistent practice, just like any other skill. Over time, you'll notice a significant improvement in your ability to manage anger. Finally, after implementing these strategies, the last step is to seek support when needed. Remember, it's okay to seek support when dealing with anger. You don't have to do it alone. In fact, having a strong support system in place can be a crucial part of anger management. This system can include trusted friends and family who understand your journey and are there to offer a listening ear, constructive advice, or a comforting presence when you need it. But support doesn't only come from personal relationships. Professional help, such as therapists or counselors, can provide invaluable insights and equip you with effective coping mechanisms. They are trained to help you navigate your emotions, making it easier to understand and manage your anger. Don't shy away from seeking support. It's not a sign of weakness, but rather a testament to your strength and commitment to personal growth. It's a brave step towards better understanding yourself and improving your emotional health. With these 5 steps, you can take control of your anger and resolve conflicts in a healthier way.